we're gonna get like, what does equity mean? What does equity mean? Well, I know what equity means.
This is my fourth Equity Summit with CLF, and I find it just really beneficial to think of all the new ways that we can build partnerships with other organizations and ways to really think about advancing equity and the policy issues that I work on.
As we think about equity, is that we all have to continue to remind ourselves about it, where we're falling short, where we have our victories and gains, and continue to work together and do well.
There is an individual piece that each person can play, and that there's also a role for organizations and, in particular, the public jurisdictions as well, to have some pretty important structured processes and conversations and initiatives and programs.
Oh, the summit was really great. I loved Angela's talk. It really brings home the whole kind of process that we need to go through to get to greater equity outcomes.
I'm looking forward to going to a workshop on the Office of Equity and seeing more what their vision is and where they plan to go. Because that's something I've been wondering about for a while.
I think Angela Blackwell raised some great points, got a lot of discussion flowing in the room with the questions that were raised, and I think the discussion is going to spill over and has spilled over into the breakout sessions.
Participation is key. If you get people involved and in simple everyday language, you ask them, what do you want? People will always tell you pretty much the same things. They want to live in safe communities where the air is pleasant to breathe, where the water is safe to drink, where the streets are inviting, where there are trees, where the kids are safe to be outside.
But as far as ownership, the impact of what we've driven in this society, in fact, really the term is real estate, either a residence or a commercial building. That's been the driver of people's wealth.
It is the Citywide Equity Committee. Bureaus will now have to prepare strategic equity plans, which will include goals and vision and methodology on how they're going to do equity. From diversity, hiring, firing, retention, contracting, all those things will be within those plans. And so when somebody asked about accountability, that's how we will have something by which to hold them accountable.
I mean, I think that we're talking about accelerating the process, but it is about outcomes. And we have to really not lose ourselves in the minutia of all of this process. Process is important, but at the end of the day is that are folks in my community going to have a better opportunity to get jobs? Are they going to live in places that's not going to kill them? Or do they have public transportation when they need public transportation? That's what we're talking about.
Every time I come, I'm challenged to talk with new people and think of new strategies to communicate the type of work that I do and get input from other communities that I might not have thought about before.
Some folks from a community organization and state government and the Bureau of Planning and Sustainability talked about the process of creating a new park in one of Portland's most diverse low-income neighborhoods. And they talked about strategies of working together with different agency partnerships, leveraging sources of funds to really achieve a level of meaningful community involvement that's pretty rare in the public process.
The crowd you saw today, the hundreds of people here, the networking that provides, the kind of ideas, and then also the connections. So, who did I talk to today that I'm like, I can call them when I need to work on this next piece. So that's really great.
The fact that many people are working together on this issue is very empowering for me, because I see people from the community, from Portland State University, Multnomah County, the city of Portland, and other governmental organizations, coming together to do this work. So this is where I get, empowerment, support for the work we are doing, and I feel encouraged by that.
I would say some of the biggest highlights were the lunch panel session, listening to Desiree, Midge, and Lisa speak. Of course, it's amazing to see how their leadership comes out and their advice for people working both in the community and with public entities. And then also some of the community feedback that we received in one of the first sessions was particularly important. They were able to share a lot of the disparities and the real life impacts on particular communities. And I think that's important, especially as a government official to hear.
The summit's really grown to address broad regional issues of equity, which I think has been really a benefit and speaks to the commitment that CLF really has.